These are the kind of girls you see in those jail pictures. You be thinking like, damn, this bitch is bad as hell, but how did she get in jail? Those kind of women. These kind of girls have no control over their emotions. You do anything that makes them feel jaded, or for example, if you're a fuck dude and if you're a fuck boy and you end up cheating on them, you can expect your car to be key.
Insane.
For sure. Alright, y'all boys, welcome to the honest dating tier list that you didn't think you needed. I've approached thousands of women at this point in time in my life, and one thing's for sure, dating nowadays feels like a damn Souls game. So in the next minute or so, I'm gonna rate the hardest woman to date in 2025, just so that way you guys can kind of see what you're up against. So with this tier list, there's gonna be a little bit of humor, just to keep things light. But I'm also gonna give you guys some strategical things that I've learned while being in the game for so long that you guys can use to improve your dating life. So let's just get into the first tier, the easy but not worth it. And the first thing that comes to mind to me is the cheater. The girl that you know, she's consistently cheating on her man. You go find these kind of girls at the club at late nights. You go find her at the job. You go find girls like this at the gym maybe. Most of the time, she's looking to do her man dirty. She's looking to try to get new experiences while keeping on to him. And so a lot of times, you don't gotta do much texting. You don't have to do much courting. All you gotta do is just be the right man at the right time, and you'll easily find yourself in a relationship or a situationship with her. Now, obviously the reason why it's not worth it is because most guys, especially in 2025, where mental health is the most unstable I've ever seen it, most guys will kill for their woman, especially a guy who has no options. Most guys don't look at like a woman cheating and say, you know what, she's a bad woman, I should never been with her. Most times, guys are gonna look at you as you're the reason why it happened. You should have left her alone. But they don't realize that nowadays, women are at a level where they're almost as masculine as men in certain instances. So yeah, these women are not worth it at all. Stay away from them because yeah, you might get some box. Yeah, you might get a little bit of fun and get a little bit of thrills. But God forbid you be the man that gets caught up in a situation with that. And you'll soonly realize that like dating women who cheat is just not worth it when you get your head cracked open. So another major woman that's easy to date, but it's not worth it, will be the girl who needs a green card. So the girl who needs a green card isn't just a foreign woman. I'm talking about a girl who's come here to the US on a damn mission to get a man who's gonna give her that green card so she can leave from our country. You'll see these girls in South America, you'll see these girls in the Philippines, you'll see these girls anywhere where they look at Americans as next level. Yeah, these girls are easy to date because they're a lot less picky when it comes to the men they're gonna date because they're not really focused only on what the man does for work, what the man does for, hobbies or what he looks like or whatever. They're not really looking for a real connection a lot of the times. And this isn't every foreign woman that comes here on a visa. This is just certain types of women who are only here to get a fucking green card. These usually are girls who have low income skills, have no real value. They have no real values. They have baggage, and they really only have the ability to look attractive. These girls are the ones that are only going to be looking for guys who can give them a visa. Let's say you guys went to Colombia, and let's say you went to Medellin, right? You gonna see these girls consistently hooking up with these goofy ass niggas because they know that they can provide the box to a certain kind of dude. The guy's gonna fall in love. Most men fall in love with the eyes. So they know that if they catch the right sucker on the right day, they're gonna get a green card. And again, the biggest thing is that these kind of girls usually aren't the most good people. I'm gonna keep it at that. These girls usually have a lot of baggage, they're usually broken, and they don't really give a fuck about how you feel and how you are. So if I was you, these are more of the fun kind of zone. You keep them there around for fun. But you don't want to be the man stuck having a baby with one of these girls because they will put you through hell and back. I told you guys before, I have a coworker who ended up giving a girl from, I think, Peru a green card. Trust me. I found some dirt on her that would make a man go crazy. This is the type of shit that you would go to the ends of the earth to crash out about. Like, she was cheating on this man on video. I'll put it like that. Let's just say it like this. If he would have found out about it, it would be the end of time for her. So the crazy girl, so the crazy girl is gonna be for sure and easy but not worth it. Because with these girls, they get jealous really easily. These are the kind of girls you see on TikTok, like just crashing out, doing crazy shit, getting arrested. These are the kind of girls you see in those jail pictures. You be thinking like, damn, this bitch is bad as hell, but how did she get in jail? Those kind of women. These kind of girls have no control over their emotions. You do anything that makes them feel jaded, or for example, if you're a fuck dude and if you're a fuck boy and you end up cheating on them, you can expect your car to be keyed for sure. These girls, you get thrills from them, but the long-term consequences dealing with them just doesn't make sense. Next up, for the easy but not worth it, we have the 5s or less. Now, again, I gotta reiterate before I get canceled. Some girls who may not be the most physically attractive might be good fits for you guys if you're into that, for sure. If you're into a girl's personality more than you're into her looks, these girls usually will hold you the fuck down because they don't got as many options. And as you guys see through the tier list, you'll see that the more higher we go, the more options these girls usually have. But yeah, a girl like this, she's gonna be, sometimes you think you expect a girl to be slightly unattractive for her to be more humble, her more submissive. But sometimes nowadays, that don't even be the case. These girls, man, my thing is that, like, I understand that a lot of these girls out here, especially depending on where you meet them at, they're not only gonna give you a headache at some point, shape, or form, but if you're gonna give me a headache, you're gonna stress me out, I gotta spend money on you, I gotta do all these things to make you happy, at least be fucking hot. But again, that's just my opinion. If I'm gonna put in the work for myself, I'm just not gonna spend time dating a girl who I don't find that attractive. And looks are subjective, so I need to put that out there for you. So the last major one I would put in this category would be, for sure, the single moms. And a single mom can't give you the kind of life you're looking for, or kind of woman you're looking for. Because there is some single women who've had kids who just got put in bad situations. But to me, on average, as a man who doesn't have any kids, it just doesn't make sense for me.
So the next tier we have is the easy enough. So this just means that, like, again, 50% of the time, you should be able to go ahead here and get them on a date, or at least get them on a phone call, or get them to respond. Again, these girls are easy enough to date. It doesn't take too much pressure. As long as you're not doing anything dumb, you should be able to find yourself dating these kind of women. So the first girl, when I think of the easy enough, I usually call it the girls who are your coworkers. Now, the reason why I don't have these girls but not worth it category is because some guys do find their wives at work. And there's a lot of different kind of things that are involved in dating people at your work, which I don't recommend in general, but there is sometimes where you might work at a big place, and you know, in a separate other division of yours, there's a girl who's working there that you might run across to at the lunchroom. There's just a lot of things that make it this not easily able to be put into the not worth it category. Now, I always recommend guys that, like, if you're dating a girl who's within the same team as you, same department as you, just stay away, man, because you're gonna find yourself in situations that are awkward and just not fucking worth it. At least if the girl works in a different division than you, you don't gotta see her every day. You don't gotta talk to her every day. You guys are not in the same little fucking room. And so, yeah, these girls are easy enough because familiarity makes it a little bit easier when you're consistently seeing somebody, consistently having conversations. The rapport is easier to build than just meeting a person one time out at a club or a bar or at a gym. Well, gym could be, same thing. But anyways, these girls are easy enough because as long as you aren't weird, or you have even a little bit of reputation at work of doing good work or doing whatever, you can easily find yourself dating these girls, going out with them for a drink after work. These girls are easy enough. And most of the time, the reason why I put them in this category is because a lot of the times, these are some of the ways that guys end up finding girls who are a little bit above average that they can date, because they realize that, like, hey, this girl here is she's falling in love with the idea of me more than who I actually am. Most of the time with these girls, they'll date a little bit underneath their standards because there's that content and that familiarity, especially if a girl is not from the city that she's working in. And that brings me to my next point. The lonely girl in the city. Now, the lonely girl in the city can be found in multiple different ways, one of which I'll show you in a minute. But the lonely girl in a new city with no new friends, just pretty much by herself or with a friend, they're a lot more receptive because they have a lot less options. They might be open to dating you even if you're not their type because they're just trying to go out and meet new people and do different things. So if you're a guy who's interesting, you're a guy who's able to give her experience, these girls usually after the first date will be pretty hooked on you. Because a lot of times when you're in a new city by yourself, on that Sunday night, or on a weekday night, on that Sunday, and you're lonely, you're bored, you want companionship, even if it's not from the ideal place. And so dating these girls is easy enough. You just gotta be able to find them, which is the hard part. Most of the time you're gonna find these girls at the grocery store. You'll find these girls at big events in your city. You'll find them on dating apps. The biggest thing is that when you meet these kind of girls, you have to kind of position yourself in a sense of like, hey, I have a lot to show you about the city. I have a lot I can do for you to make your life a lot more fun and interesting. If you kind of come with that kind of angle and that strategy, you'll soon realize that these girls are very easy to date and be cool with. And these girls are really the girls you can take serious in a certain sense, as long as they have, good morals and not baggage. Because these girls, even if let's say these girls are for the streets, right? These girls at least aren't for the streets of your city. And so at least you can say, all right, you might have done some shit from before me, but I don't gotta know about it. Ignorance is bliss. Now the next girl who's easy enough that you guys can typically date without having to do too much, have to be too great of a man, is just the girls who are on dating apps. I don't use dating apps. I advise against them because again, the dating apps can fluctuate between easy enough, almost impossible. These dating apps girls can go from any one of these tiers because there are just so many things about them that individually. Some girls are on there only for followers. Some girls are on there just for hookups. Some girls are on there because they're single mom and they're looking for a baby daddy to take care of them. There's just so many different things that can make this a little bit different. They make this into a different tier. Now the next girl who I say it's easy enough would be the girl with a small following count on Instagram. This might be a little bit more goofy. Girls who have a small following, less than 2 to 3,000 following, usually have a little bit easier time getting to know guys. A lot of the easiest girls I've dated and got to know pretty easily have had a high following count and a low follower count. It's really like a sneaky little draft pick right there. I feel like with a girl like that, bro, she's kind of like maybe at the best take of photos. She's not actively, giving out her Instagram. She's not consistently out there. Like if a girl has a high following count, if a girl has a high follower count, to me that's a red flag. You know what I mean? Because how many people do you really know in life? Because honestly, the average person can't meet people very consistently. The average person's to themselves. They don't go out by themselves. They don't talk to strangers by themselves. So for you to have above 2,000 in your follower count, that just shows me that you're active. That just shows me you have some sort of presence in the world where you can attract those people to talk to you, whether it's from, social media, Tinder, dating apps, you're consistently around, high profile celebrities, consistently in the club, whatever. But a girl with a low follower count, especially if she's attractive in 2025, that's a green flag for me. And they're easy enough to date because the options aren't as prevalent as maybe like, let's say a girl with 10,000 who's getting DM'd by NBA players and just consistently getting shots thrown at them. Now let's get to the normal difficulty. These girls, I'd say you have a 35% chance to 40% chance talking to if you're on your shit. And I say 35% meaning like every, let's just say 3 to 4 girls you meet, you'll end up getting the number and possibly taking them out and possibly wasn't with them. In the day market we're living in, like at this point, bro, there's no easy shots really, to be honest with you. But you gotta just kind of pick and point, where you fit in at. So the normal difficulty, I'm gonna put the 6s and 7s. Probably prior to like 2017, 2018, and dating apps got so super prevalent and social media became such a big part of our lives, I probably would have put the 6s and 7s in the easy enough because they had a lot less to compare themselves to. They had a lot less options at that point. But nowadays, dating a 6 or 7, depending on where you're at and what city you're in and how you meet them, they can be harder than dating a fucking 9 or a 10 or 8, because they think in their head they're the shit. I remember back when I was living in Buffalo, this was a consistent thing that I found myself in. You will go up to a 6 or 7 thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna bag this shorty. This shorty right here, I can show what I'm about. Next thing you know, she's talking about, oh, you can have my Instagram. Oh, I'm not that interested into you. These girls, and damn near turn into a fucking elder ring boss. If you're not the right kind of man, like, these are the kind of girls that you gotta be on your shit. You gotta be consistently. A lot of times, these are the kind of girls that you gotta have everything for them to want to date. Like, and the thing is, it's not about what you think about them too, because the majority of guys might see them as a 6 or 7, but there's always gonna be that one man who sleeps with them. That's like that has his money together, or she might perceive him as a 10 or 9, where she ultimately only expects that from now on, and that's just human nature. Now, these kind of girls, it's all about where you meet them. 6 or 7, it all depends. But all I'm saying ultimately with this tier here is that these girls have become even harder to date more than ever. Like, these girls probably 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the average guy would have an average shot at hitting. Now it's like you're going to be playing slightly at a harder level to get them, especially if they're working in any sort of place where they have abundant options. All right, so next up, I would say the party girl is definitely in the normal difficulty, because a party girl, and I'm not talking about a party girl who's in the VIP section every fucking night. I'm talking about the average party girl who's walking around with her friend at nighttime on Saturday or Friday. These girls are normal difficulty because most of the time they are going to get shot on by everybody regardless, because they have, like, when there's alcohol flowing, there's music playing, there's no consequences or embarrassment from shooting, guys are going to shoot on them regardless, just because they want to get something. So these girls are on the normal, because sometimes, a lot of times, I feel like they've have given it up. They've already dated guys from out at night. They're comfortable already meeting guys. They're a little bit more receptive to meeting new guys, because that's what they do. They go out, party, have new experiences. So these girls here, they typically aren't that difficult to get if they are interested in you first, which is the key thing. If you go out and cold approach these girls, you can have decent success, but realistically, if these girls are like giving you the eyes, especially because that's the easy part, they give you eyes at night because it's a little bit easier whenever drinking, you can tend to find yourself dating these girls with not too much of a challenge if you don't fucking talk yourself out of it. I think a lot of times with these girls here, they know what red flags there are and what kind of guys get clingy, and so they instantly know when you're talking if you're gonna be a clingy guy or not. So if you know how to control your tongue, and you know how to kind of position yourself as a fun guy who's not looking for anything serious at first, these girls are pretty easy to bag. These girls are like usually the girls who are able to be slept with in the first date, second date, and not to be too much investing into them afterwards. All right, so we're getting to the category of pretty hard. Now, again, with the first one I think of instantly when it comes to pretty hard to bag and date, I'm going to say the gym girl, bro. Gym girl is hard for multiple reasons. The gym girl is not only a hard approach in the first place, because again, most of the time when you're at the gym, nobody's coming up to these girls usually, and if they do, they're coming up to them with some indirect shit. Second thing that makes them hard is that a lot of these girls are only in there for one thing only, the gym. To get gains and get attention. Really to get attention. So, these girls here, you'll find that you might be able to talk to them. You might even be able to get their number. But to get them from the gym to an actual date, or to get to know them, if you get them on a phone call, it's so hard because they have such weird, complex situations. They be in relationships. They just don't want to date you because they know that they are dating you at the gym. You're fucking up their space. They are not looking for anything there a lot of times. It's just, these are the kind of girls that, like, for every 10 shots you put up, you might be able to get one on a date, depending on how she looks. But if she's a gym baddie and you're not at your fucking P's and Q's, you're just like a little bit above average or average, For the average man, this is just not going to be easy shot. Not at all. Especially because they're getting attention 24/7 when they're at that gym. Guys are staring at them. You know, they're taking booty pics for the gram. Guys are looking at the story. These girls here, good luck. One I want to mention that's not on the tier list is a girl with a low body count. A girl who's not out very much in their homebody kind of girl. I would say these girls here are normal difficulty just because with them not going out very much, they don't have very many limited options. And if you can, position yourself with their values, you can position themselves with having fun, not on a weird, like, toxic level, they'll fuck with you. Now, the next girl for pretty hard, I would say, is for sure the bottle girl. Now, the bottle girl, she can almost be impossible depending on how she looks and where you're at. Bottle girls range from, like, low-tier bars to the most pristine bars in your city. To me, average bottle girl is on a hard difficulty because she's getting talked to every night she's working. There's one guy talking to her at least one time a night, hitting on her. And if she's working at a little bit more higher kind of bar, there's celebrities. There's guys who got fucking a lot of money, guys with a lot of status who are talking to her on a consistent basis. Even if she's not even that most attractive, the fact that she's just available and she's single in that moment allows her to be shot on. So these girls here, the way I found that you can bag them the easiest is just you got to be consistently around that environment they're in. And even still, like, if you get customer zoned, it's not going to matter too much of what they think because some bottle girls you'll talk to and meet, and they'll only look at you as a customer. I think that if you guys are consistently out at night, you'll find that often. Bottle girls are it's a very hard girl to date. And most of the time, they don't even be worth it, to be honest with you. But hey, they look good most of the time, from what I've seen. Next up in the pretty hard category will be the 9s and 10s.
And the reason these are so hard to date is not only because, they're attractive, but it's hard to find them. To genuinely meet a girl who's a 9 or 10 on your ranking, they're not very frequent. For every 9 or 10 I've met, I would say 7 to 8 out of 100 are 9s or 10s. That might be even me pushing it. Like, how many girls you can generally look at and say, you know what, that's a fucking 10 to me. Most of the time, unless you're living in like the city that produces them, like let's say for example, I like girls who got long black hair who are beautiful in the face. If I lived in Medellin or I live in Colombia, sure, meeting a girl like that will be a lot easier to find. But if you live in the States and you don't find the kind of girls you really want, getting those kind of girls will be even harder. Problem with the 9 and 10 is that finding them is the hardest part, and depending on where you find them at, can make it even harder. If you find a 9 or 10 working as a bottle girl, yeah, you will have a harder time than meeting a 9 or 10 that goes to your church, or meeting a 9 or 10 that works at the job, or meeting a 9 or 10 that is friends of a friend. It just depends on where you meet the 9 or 10 at. But I would say on average, the 9 or 10 is just very hard to hit. For every 10 dimes you talk to, you're gonna get curved by at least 9, if not 10. Just because again, their beauty is universal most of the time. A girl that you look at as a 10 might be an 8 to somebody, but still they're gonna shoot because she's an 8. Now, next pretty hard category will be the girl who does not speak your same language as you.
The reason why dating a girl like this is hard is because if you're an average guy, most of the time if you're dating a girl who doesn't speak the same language as you, it doesn't matter how attractive you are if you can't build the chemistry on a mental level. Now, some girls, if you're just attractive enough, that's what they care about the most. They'll say, "Fuck it, let's just hook up." But the average girl doesn't think like that. Most girls need some mental stimulation. So a girl who doesn't speak the same language as you, and you don't speak a lick of their own language, you're gonna consistently find yourself having to fight an uphill battle because there's guys she might find attractive that are just like you that can speak the language of her. And so if you don't know her language, you don't know how to communicate properly, the potential's gone.
Now, in the pretty hard category,
it's a girl who has, 3,000 plus followers. These are the kind of girls that are low key baddies. They got not too much to the point where you think that they're like impossible, but they have just a little bit enough for them to still be able to attract guys who have those high following counts. These are usually the girls who are very popular in your city, out a lot. They're talking to new guys. They're very attractive. These girls have somewhat higher followers, but the followers they have are like these super rich guys, super like, you know what I mean? They got a lot of options. That's the thing I'm trying to put. Like, these girls here have a lot of options. And even if they don't have a lot of options in their head, let's just say guys wanted to sleep with them. In their mind, they feel like they have a lot of options. And even if you might think she's not the most attractive girl, the followers think that. The followers liking her shit. The guys who are just trying to sleep with her and boosting her head up. That's why dating these kind of girls is really hard. For every 10 girls I've talked to who have this amount of followers, it's hard to even get the text back.
Who has a girl? Be honest, just dating like Melina and fucking dating a girl like this is like fucking trying to, you know, fucking run a fucking marathon sometimes. I don't fucking know. Now this one I'm gonna put only close friends for the pretty hard. Why? The reason why I say only friends, only close friends allowed, is because a lot of times, depending on your city that you're in, depending on the city you're in, these girls are only dating guys that are validated by their friends. Most of the time, these girls are only dating guys that are in the friend groups of their friends. A lot of the times, these girls are not open to talking to a guy that hit on them at a bar, or talk to a guy that hit on them at the gym, or talk to a coworker. A lot of times, these girls are just like, hey, if my friends don't like you, I'm not fucking with you. And you'll find this usually in smaller cities for sure. If you live in a small city, you'll see this often. Okay? And then lastly, the damn near impossible category. First thing I'm putting in there is just a girl who has, you know, a blue check mark. A girl who's has access to guys because she might have gotten an Explore page. She might have gotten a TikTok that blew up. She might have gotten a fucking Instagram that popped up. At that point, once she did that, once she gets that many followers, it's like when that fucking motherfucker from The Sinners said, "Come in," and all them fucking vampires came in. Once she gets that level where she starts getting herself openly out there, it's raps. They're damn near impossible because it's like their sense of reality is almost skewed. The only time you really can bag these bitches, from my experience, is like on the back end when they're falling off, when they're like fucking, you know, Kevin Garnett. When they're kind of like Kevin Garnett on the Nets, they're falling off. They're not the same no more. The celebrity lover. These girls are damn near impossible. That's the 1%, because if you don't got clout, money, or whatever, you can't give them, you know, bags or whatever, they're not fucking with you. They don't want you. They can give 2 fucks. And yeah, these girls right here, you just gonna have to really just be on that. And usually these girls right here are the same girls you guys see like Trippie Redd and Future dating together. Like, these girls are only dating guys who are in the limelight. And so yeah, don't start dating them. Lastly, I'd say the richest fuck category. These girls are girls who come from money, girls who are attractive and they come from money, actually, really. These girls here, they don't need a man for anything, really. They're really just fucking with the guy just because they just genuinely want to be with them. So unless you can really just alter her senses and make her really feel like you're the one, dating her is almost impossible, because preferably, especially if she's on her daddy's money, she can't just date anybody. And if she ends up getting pregnant by the wrong guy, she knows she's gonna be cut from the fucking, you know, family ties. And lastly, an honorable mention I forgot to put in here. If you guys are paying for women on a sexual manner, that's also easy but not worth it. And so real quick, before I set the tier list, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, no, but not every woman, but listen, this isn't for every single girl you ever meet. This is just a general thing I've noticed. Some girls have different morals than others. Some girls look better than others. There's just so many variables when it comes to dating that I cannot create a tier list that's perfect. This is just a general rule and general guideline you guys will see. There's some girls who are bottle girls who might just find you the most attractive guy on the planet and they'll want to fucking be with you. There's some girls who are single moms, but they think that they deserve a celebrity. Again, this is just my tier list based on the thousands of shots I put up talking to different women. And you guys might have a different perspective. Again, you guys might have a different perspective. You guys might have seen different things, but overall, this is what I've seen. I would say ultimately, if you consistently find yourself talking to girls in tier 1, ask yourself why you can't improve your dating strategies. Ask yourself why you tend to only be in this category. The point of this video is for you guys to realize, like, you know, order for you guys to date girls who have a lot more going for them, quote unquote, you're gonna have to become a better man yourself, which is the point of this channel and this video. My name is KJTheBlackAce. We're gonna make this shit roll all 2025. Eventually, I want to open up some consultations for you guys. I want to do some consultations. I want to talk to you guys about your problems and ultimately solve them. I know that being who I am and coming where I come from, most guys won't be able to relate to what you guys are going through like I can, because I've been through it all. Again, my name is KJTheBlackAce. All my life, boys. Peace.